I don't know if it's me, but do you feel like something is just really off because the things that you consider fun is just not fun to you no more? So let me just explain to y'all. So you know how you're supposed to be getting out, having a good time, going to the latest concert or the latest basketball game, and it just doesn't really seem appealing to you no more? It's because in reality, it's like you've been living under a rock, but the things that people think is fun, you don't find it fun. And I don't know why this occurs like this, because it seems to startle me, because I don't know if you guys feel the same way, because the things that are supposed to excite you in life, it don't excite you no more. Now you may have friends that say, can you go on this trip with me? Or do you want to go out of town? Then you always be like, nah, I don't want to go on this trip. I don't want to go out of town. Then they looking at you like, why you just being a square or lame? Why you don't like to do nothing? It ain't that you don't like to do nothing. It's just that you don't find no fun in it. Stuff like that, it don't interest you anymore. Now, let's take it back to when you was younger. Stuff like that, it used to interest you when you was younger because you was programmed to believe that that was fun by you getting out. That as you go older, then when you start experiencing life, the things that you realize in life that really doesn't matter as you get older, it was fun to you when you was younger. Because maybe you just don't see what nobody else is seeing. Because I feel like that the same way how you feel. Maybe I just don't know how to have fun like they know how to have fun. And people used to say, I'm so isolated that I used to be living under a rock. I didn't like to experience things in life. I wasn't a normal kid. I didn't do things that the normal kids would do that consider fun. So, in reality, I started learning that the things that seems like it's fun to me, but it's really not, it's not fun because maybe I'm just different. So that's why stuff seems off to me, because I just look at life different. I don't look at life like the next person, because I have a different form of thinking how things really is and not how it should go. Because in reality, we was always taught about how things should go. But as you live your life, then you see life goes on, you realize that ain't really the case, because you're going to start experiencing more in your life. You're going to start getting out more. And then every time you see how something's supposed to go, it don't ever go how people tell you it's supposed to go, because they leaving the key parts out on how life should really be and what the situation really is. So that's what I always tell y'all, because I'm always noticing that something is off or somebody do something the wrong way, and it just drives me crazy. Maybe it's just me. Maybe because I look at it from a different perspective. And the person that made that mistake, they may be looking at it like it's not a big deal. But it's like I look at things differently, because I take it serious, because this world is just changing, and it's just like I can't put my finger on it. And it's just like it's not adding up, because it doesn't make any sense. Because the things that they tell us to believe, it seems like it's just off, because it's not matching up anymore. And maybe I could just feel some type of way, or maybe you feel the same way. But you know the reason why you feel the same way? Maybe you're so tired of seeing the same thing, and you want to see something different. So that's why you feel like something is off, because you was destined to be different and see different, but you just don't know how to bring it out you. And a lot of us, we don't know how to bring it out of us, because we always dealing with our fears and hard times in our life, and we let that deter us from what we're supposed to do in the situations that we're supposed to be in. But just think about it. All the things that's supposed to be fun, It's not fun to you. And when it's not fun to you, you know what people call you? They say you boring. They say you a square. Maybe it just don't match what you're supposed to be doing. Maybe your life is destined to be different. And ain't nothing wrong with being different. I'm tired of people naming different with crazy. And once you different in life, they're gonna call you different and crazy and weird. But in reality, you're really not weird. You just see something special for you. Because just think about it. It's just you've been living your life so long that you're starting to put two and two together. You're starting to see how your life is turning out. You go to that party, it's not making sense why you even went to the party because it was boring anyway. Or then you went to the concert, you see the people in the concert, it's just everybody feels like they out of place to you, and you just look at things different now because you have a different vision, and you just tired of the situation and you just don't really know it. But you've been seeing that for a long time. You've been seeing that something's off for a long time because it just don't make sense no more to you. Don't nothing make sense anymore. And I don't know if it was me feeling like this all the time or I was just different. And some people say it's just different how I think. And some people love the way I think. But in reality, it's like you're not going crazy, you're not being weird, it's just that you're ready. You're ready for what you're about to become. So that's why everything is seeming like it's off to you because it is off, because it's in your world. So now, since you're learning how to live in your new world, you're gonna start to live your life different because just think about it. You will see that things are just so much out of place. You'll be like, how did this even get here? You'll see situations that don't even make no sense. Because I was driving the other day down this road. Then there was this one car driving on the wrong side of the street. Now, I was just startled because it's like, why are you driving on the wrong side of the street? Everybody was blowing at him. This car was still on the same side. Then imagine if the world was just doing crazy things like that, just for no reason. They could have been intoxicated or anything, but things like that, it just drives me crazy. And I know people make mistakes, but everything just drives you crazy in life. That's what I'm trying to get with this. Everything just drives you crazy. If you see something just out of place and it doesn't need to be there, then you see people walk on the side of the street where all the cars at, and there's a bunch of space on the other side, but they don't walk on the other side, and you just be like, you don't see the logic in that because you're experiencing and you noticing that something is off. I was just in my car the other day. It was these, I love my older people. It was these older people. I was parked on the street, right? I was just sitting in my car. It was parked. It was so much space on the street like this, right? They had just enough space to stay on this side. My car is like where this car at. They kept walking on my side of the street when they could have just went to a clear path on the other side with this space right here. But they kept walking, just choosing to just walk close to my side to almost scrape my car. And that's how people are just living life. They didn't scrape my car, but thank God that they didn't scrape my car. But it drove me crazy because it was a good space on the other side of the street. So, and I'm not mad at them. It was fascinating to me because that was just off to me. You know what I'm saying? Everything that you see is just off. Because in reality, your vision is different. So that's why you're starting to see that things ain't the same no more, because you're starting to realize and you're starting to wake up. And a lot of us, we don't wake up until it's too late. You see what I'm saying? We don't wake up until it's too late. And then when it's too late, we didn't take control of our life. And a lot of us is doing that. We just speaking, but we not really doing the action. So once you start to realize that things ain't the same how it used to be anymore, and things is just not making sense, that's when you're starting to realize that you're ready. You're ready for something new in your life. You're trying to turn to a new chapter, a new page, a new book in your life. That's why things are starting to become different. And in reality, you're really not crazy. So when you're not so-called normal, they call you crazy. But you're really not crazy. You're just destined to be different. And there's nothing wrong with being different. I keep saying that over and over. Just because I see more logic and you may see more logic than the average person, you're different. And the crazy part, they call you different when you see the logic. But everybody else would do the same thing, like I just explained to you about that situation earlier. Everybody else would just do the same thing, and it's just simple. And they'd be like, well, I didn't even know there's that much space over there, but you've been saw the space because you've been saw what you was great for. That's what I mean about you've been saw it, but you just didn't know how to execute it. You didn't have the courage to just get it about you because you're so used to seeing things in your life and you get so emotional to wanting to progress because this world is just crazy. And I understand. I was feeling just like you and I still feel just like you. But we starting to realize that something strange is just going on. And then every place that you feel like you're supposed to have fun at, you just never having fun. You don't go out much. You don't hang nowhere. I wouldn't say you paranoid. It's just that it just seems like it's off and you just don't trust nothing no more. And the reason why you say you don't trust nothing no more, you try to fall for the program and you just know it's something different out there. You just know, but you just don't know how to bring the courage to go experience it because you're so afraid of just losing. Now, I understand you're so afraid of losing, but in reality, when you living in this life, you gotta be able to accept the losing to win. So once you start to let go and start to accept the losing and start to realize that something is still really off, it don't nothing make sense to you no more because you think different. So that's why it's important to just feel like that. And there's nothing wrong for you feeling like that because we all have feelings and we just don't know how to express it. Say if you want to do something with your life and you want to do something constructive and you've been working at your job or whatever and you feel like you want to dive in something new, but you're scared to dive in something new because you're so caught up on what people was telling you what you should and shouldn't do. But in reality, you feel like that's off because you know what you was destined to do. You're just afraid to get out. And a lot of us are like that because that's why we're afraid to go out. You're afraid to do this. But the average person that's not afraid to go out and do that, they don't see what's off because they think that's normal. You don't think that's normal. Because if you go to a concert, it's not the same no more. I keep telling y'all that. Ain't nobody even singing the songs no more. The crowd look dead. Ain't nobody vibing. And you realizing that. Everybody else is probably not even realizing that. Or you go have fun, you go to a park, or you do anything. Everybody's just on their phone. But you the only one that peeped that. Everybody else not even peeping what's going on. You paying attention to what's going on. Because you always got to pay attention. Just like the story I told you earlier. When I seen a car driving on the wrong side of the street, and he might have been drunk or she or whatever, they was making a big mistake. They could have put everybody's life in danger, but you saw it because you know something is off. And you don't understand why people do these crazy things, but you are aware of that, and you more aware than you can even imagine, but you just don't know how to bring it about you to be more aware to your situation. And that's why you feeling that way, because just think about it. You paying attention, and in life you always got to pay attention, because it was another situation. It was like a near life experience because it was a car getting chased by the police, and if I didn't stop and realize the sirens was behind me, and there was more than one sirens behind me, If I would have kept moving my car, the car that was running from the police could have hit me. And it could have been tragic because I don't know what they were doing, because this is why I don't like when police chase people. Because in reality, if you're going to chase somebody, make sure don't nobody else's life have nothing to do with it when you chasing that car. They always chasing another car and don't think about the other people on the street. So that's why I say you always got to pay attention. And it wouldn't been no talking. You see what I'm saying? So you noticing things are off like that, and then once the car was running from the police, I don't know what's the logic in that. The car that's running from the police, right? They was like, oh, let me go try to run from the police, and it's a red light up ahead, and I'm gonna just keep going through the red light. I ain't gonna even stop. They ain't even stop. So they end up crashing into another car, end up tragically taking somebody's life because they running from the police, and all they had to do was stop at the red light, which is driving me crazy because I seen 2 chases like that. I heard about 2 chases. So when you driving, you got to start being more aware. You got to start paying attention because stuff is off. You might not even be peeping it, but start just paying attention. And teach your people around you, always pay attention because something is off with other people and you noticing that. But the long story short, and people, I was telling them like, that junk drove me crazy because if you running from the police, why is you not stopping at a red light? People are like, but why would you stop at a red light if you're trying to get away? If you crash into another car and stop your car, and then you hurt somebody, and now you got a case on that, and you still going to jail, what's the logic in that? So people just don't be noticing things like that. Like even a car who got their sirens on, like an ambulance or a police car, if you got your sirens on and you about to go past the red light, you don't zoom past that red light. You still stop and look around to see if something is right. Then you go. But a lot of people just think everything's supposed to go how it's supposed to go. And that's why something is off to you. Because you're starting to peep that everything doesn't go how it's supposed to go. So once you start to learn that, and you learn to see different and look on the other side, but once you look on the other side, everybody's calling you crazy. But in reality, you're not crazy. You just got knowledge and you're aware. And you can't believe everything they tell you. So that makes you powerful. So when you're powerful, they call you arrogant. But in reality, you're not arrogant. You're just doing your research because you're educating yourself because nothing feels the same no more. And that's all I be wanting to say to y'all, because it's not like you're just boring, nothing excites you no more. It's just that you're an intellectual kind of person. And it takes much to get you there. You're not like the average person. So that's why you know something is off. And it's not a bad thing that you know something is off. Who told you it was a bad thing? Because they programmed you to. You see what I'm saying? So in reality, you understand what I'm saying, because what I'm saying to you, you're experiencing it. You're starting to feel it. It's starting to hit your heart, your soul. Because you ain't got to see if I'm telling you the real, if I'm bullcrapping, because you can feel it. You can feel everything I'm telling you. Because you're not crazy. So don't let them call you crazy. And that's a word that they made up anyway. You see what I'm saying? Just to tear you down. Because you're different, you got to be crazy. Ain't nothing wrong with being different. Everybody was born at a different time. Everybody came in this world at a different time. Why everybody got to be the same? Just because you don't have fun like this person have fun, or you don't want to get out, or every time you get out you noticing something all the time, you peeping everything, it's because you know. You're starting to learn. And once you start to learn how situations go, your life is just going to change for the better. But right now, the world is just terrifying to you that everything is off, because it's just bothering you, just something in your spirit. It's just bothering you to the point that you just can't take it. And you just don't know what to do. But I'm going to tell you what to do. I just want you to just keep noticing that something is off. Be destined to be great, or however great you're going to be, and just prepare for it. Don't fold when the occasion comes. Just rise to the occasion. You see what I'm saying? Don't be scared to go for what you want to go for. I know everybody wants to win in life 100% of the time, but that's not realistic. That's why you're different, because you understand that it's going to be some L's before some W's. You got to take your L's before your W's. Then you can live to see another day and do it again. That's why you're different. You just didn't have the courage to wake that spirit up in your soul, the spirit of a hustler. Like what he say on Paid in Full, I feel like one of them ball playing dudes, like Bird or Jordan. I could just hustle. I just love to hustle. Now since you learning and you feel like everything is off, you can't be stopped. And they're gonna be terrified of you because you can't be stopped, because something is off. And that's just my take on the situation. Let me know if you've been feeling that way and you've been feeling isolated, because you know things are different, but you just not letting it get to you. But what I want y'all to do is that once you feel like things are different, I want y'all to just keep educating yourself while y'all isolating yourself. And sometimes you may have to make sacrifices to isolate yourself because you're different. And it's not wrong with that. You making those sacrifices. Some people don't want to make those sacrifices, so they're going to keep getting what they get out of life because they don't notice that something is off. You notice everything you see is off. And then sometimes you may have to do that sacrifice. Even me. Look at me. I'm always making sacrifices. I'm getting on YouTube, and I appreciate y'all for supporting me. But this is me. Follow me. Look at me. Do the same thing. I was noticing things was off. And you did too. So that's why you're here. So let me know if y'all feel the same way, and I'm gonna talk to y'all in a minute. Peace.